need of healthcare intervention in Makite community. Solicitor General presents compelling reasons for continuing constitutional review. That's now the front page of the Awoko newspaper. We get Concord Times newspaper, which is the international community to mediate between government, APC, and Sierra Leone signs Beijing Convention. And we also get EcoBank launches USSD digital banking. UNFPA fistula survivor shares her story. That's you will find at the Concord Times newspaper. We also get the A to Z newspaper. APC accepts dialogue with governments. That's according to the Executive Secretary of Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion. President Bio prioritizes food security, climate financing for Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone's judiciary debunks rumors of partiality. 20 years jail slammed on jealous boyfriend for manslaughter. And at the A to Z newspaper, we get the Global Times newspaper. We say Morocco to open embassy in Sierra Leone. President Bio engages Sierra Leoneans in Kenya. Robbery with aggravation, convict jailed 70 years. 341 raps of KUSH tendered in courts. Deputy Defense Minister visits Egyptian armed forces. President Bio addresses Africa Climate Change Summits. That are the Global Times newspaper. We get Awareness Times newspaper. We say, as Justice Brown Mark administers justice to victims of unjust incarceration, Judicial Week frees citizens out of prison. Former Chief Minister David Francis opens websites for his Eco Rice Farm and services. That are the Awareness Times newspaper. Get the Night Watch newspaper. We say, stolen election. Commonwealth team is here. Big demos awaits President Bio at UN. That is for Night Watch. And we get the Intern newspaper. We say President Bio receives reports on Greenbelt encroachment investigation. Transport Minister initiates overhaul of ministry and agencies. Parliamentary Committee on Water Resources visits Salwako for familiarization. Exclusive newspaper. We say for election and good governance in Africa, U.S. to provide $165 million. This parliament is illegitimate, Dr. Samura Kamara, and I ain't talk so. Accused of killing his parents in Delaware County, man arrested. That's for the exclusive. Now we get Independent Observer, 34 sexual offenses cases at McKinney High Court. Ibrahim Swari Foundation wraps up Kenema Free Summer School. Last newspaper, The Times. Salon, Israel diplomatic ties, House of Parliament, Post Office Building, Ministerial Building, Bank of Sierra Leone, King Tom Powerhouse, etc. I think they try to talk about the benefits of this tie. More goodies on the way. Ambassador Navo discloses holding of a wall in December 2023. And with ICAO standards highly maintained, Sierra Leone e-passport climbs 10 places upwards. So these are stories. And we get for deal with issues inside. We're not going to deal with everything. So we'll start off with the issue of the convention, the Beijing Convention. We go for talk about basically about the how countries and for sign the policy framework where they guide them on how for buy ship, for purchase ship, and how that they will benefit the country in maritime. We find out over the years, Salome don't get some of the resources in the boats. They don't lose them after the war, and now we not get anything with the boost of we now we own like ship in terms of the maritime. We even find out even the Navy get challenges. I been in one meeting the other day, and the commander, deputy commander, be talk some of the challenges and what they can get for even patrol for look Nasi. So this particular convention here, I will start with you, Khadija. How you feel say get for benefit salon?
Well, good morning,
Yes.
I can say. It's been a while. And I'm glad now that we don't go Creole way unlike before we in English.
Exactly.
But now people, they get the vibes and what they talk about. And looking at the Beijing Convention, Yusuf don't explain clearly that it was there before, and then we benefited a lot. Outside before, we can get them facilities and day. But again, for me, not of just for go sign a convention or attend a meeting like that. Now, about implementation, then for me is about how we can maintain whatever that will be given to us. So you can go, you sign. I mean, we don't see Usai Salon don't sign to so many treaties, to so many conventions, but they know they work towards, or they know they work according to what they go sign to. So let's say if we start now, then we get ships, then back come. We get countries, then we go also offer for give some of them things, and they, you know, well, it might be, I'm saying, we can get donors. We go give, we say, okay, now when I don't sign to this. And I think one of the benefits should be that if when I don't sign to them, they can assist to now in some way. Yeah. Now that make in fact the part of that convention day. So if we get opportunities like that and we start to see Sierra Leone having again the same shapes like before, then I am afraid that we don't have a maintenance culture. So how far can we go? So for me, we talk about like how we can say no more governance continuity. If we are given something, even vehicles, we don't say they don't give salon vehicles and all of that. At the end of the day, we just sit in a garage,
exactly.
a park, and then they try for purchase another one.
The cases of the buses.
Exactly.
We need to see anything around.
Yeah.
It will be a lot. Now, no, talk about transportation. If they still talk about the same ship, I must say they get also use them for, you know, add to the economic situation. Yeah. But let's talk about transportation. You imagine, so then buses, then they been there. Look how school begin the train rights now. They have to pay because the buses are, you know, some them park in a garage, and it's not enough. So then go for take commercial vehicles, which cost more. So for me, it even hinder the progress of the free quality education. Because if you don't have transportation, your child is not going to school. So it's just the same as this ship. It's a very good one if we get, I mean, we sign or we attend the convention, we sign to it, and then again, like I say no more, probably we get 1 or 2 ships, but that maintenance culture should be there. I think if government therefore work towards that, I am telling you, and it's not just about that again, the country, they become admirable that they get other people for come also. There are some facilities where foreigners they can look at. We are talking about how to sell our country out there, not just in a negative image, but in a positive one. What attracts tourism? That's what I wanted to say. It can attract people to come. So if we get certain facilities then, I am telling you, even with tourism sector, go boom, and then it go up. How we able to cushion some of the challenges that we'll get with the economy. So it will mean a lot, but it depends on how it's going to be.
I'm beginning by Khadija don't talk about some of the benefits, but also the lapses where government can get in terms of maintenance and other things. We can go inside a convention, they are signed, but follow up or living up to these expectations are a very difficult thing. As a journalist, you feel say governments don't neglect the maritime area, I mean like the sea? Because we don't see much investment in that area.
Yes, of course. You're right for saying there's been some amount of negligence in terms of investment in that particular area. You know, we don't cry about lots of things in this country, you know, in terms of, let's talk about KUSH. I mean, you talk about the tramadol and all of these things. And through the sea, then they pass for kind side. You know, several evidences don't prove that day. So you really need to empower the maritime industry so that they go able to do their work in terms of making sure that the country and we see well protected. You understand? Because the problem really, if that particular entity they not be well empowered, or equipped, like waiting and on go sign up to so now, then we are bound to say we see no like well protected. Because now when they talk about having ships, it's fine. We don't go sign to the convention, just like within Khadija they say. Signing up to these things, not to for just go, you go sign the document. It's about how you go make sure say anything they are so actualized. However, I think say a good thing for the government think about at this particular time, because it is rather late than never. I think say better that way day. So waiting now we need for do as a country moving forward, Now, how we go able for bring some reforms in the maritime sector as well. There should be some amount of reforms there. So we go able for see the progress we will be able to make in terms of not just protecting the sea, but as well attracting tourism and other investment them as well.
And you don't say, even that program, they realize, say, annually, Salone, they lost up to $30 million to illegal fishing.
So you see?
I was just about, what Wanle would have done, I was just about to talk about
so
that.
So you see the economic benefits they did.
Thank you.
So it's not all about, okay, I can left you.
So moving forward, I make a comment say there should be some amount of reform in the Maritime Act. You understand? We get for speak to some of the issues there also. A fine for equipped the Navy, you understand? But as well, may we get proper reform for make sure say we don't sign up to the convention there also. As we begin to achieve the benefits from then thing they also we sign up to, we go able for protect them. We the loss them where we get as well. Because somebody will tell you say there are too many lacunas we go there na the law book. So then also I think say there should be a reform, you understand, moving forward, not for just sign up to the convention.
Yeah.
But we will also look at them in the moving forward.
Khadija, you want to say something?
Yes. There are so many benefits, just like how you say, and I've been also one for talk about that. But I tell you for free, say, you only put money, USA, if you say they expect money for commodities.
Exactly.
You know, you look at the sectors. There are so many sectors where if governments pay attention to, then go able, or probably they pay attention to that, but now at the back, you know, they see them. Or individual benefits. But if they pay attention to denting the day for the interest of the people, I am telling you, they're able for boost to economy small. There are some sectors, if government, but all the time, even we as journalists, when you go do interviews, they start to tell you, what are your challenges? Oh my God, you go on and on. This is our challenges. And these are the sectors we're supposed to generate income. Exactly. It's not just about paying for shop taxes. That's not what we are looking at. You look how we're able to get big fish. We're able to come and boost the economy. But if government so they pay attention, I am not saying, I'm not just saying this, I mean, I'm talking in the general way, because I've not done any research for CCA governments actually they pour money into the maritime, but we they see how to I mean it's open. So if something like that they happen and then we get we water so fresh that even we fish them. I was listening to one expert one day that say Leone get the best kind of fish or so because you not get poison and all of that, so it's fine for it. So if we can look at all of that, if not all people they benefit from individually, then if governments pay attention. So then I am telling you, it is able to boost the economy. But we cannot just depend on transport. Now we talk about economy, how transport they do. When we talk about economy, how then tax them, how people they pay tax for their shops, for their business. That is not all what we have to look at. Let's look at these other sectors that you think might not even generate income, but they are liable to generate. It's very, very possible that they can generate income even more than some way they think say now they will forget big money. So
in other words, like we Bar inside they say with the proper reforms and just a little bit of boost and then sector, then you will see the economic growth and the contribution in terms of revenue.
Exactly.
We'll go to the next issue wherein we see AU, Commonwealth, ECOWAS to facilitate election arbitration in Sierra Leone. That is the Independent Commission. I think I see this story in like 3 different papers where they talk about the international community for mediation between APC and the government, SLPP. Now, it's been a while. Just after the election, we still get the atmosphere still not clear.
Yeah, you go describe and say tense.
It's still tense, and you find out, say, the opposition APC don't they avoid governance, but participate in governance for quite some time. And at some point, I even see a newspaper where claim say Samoa Kamara described the current parliament as illegitimate. And that is the exclusive newspaper. This parliament is illegitimate, Dr. Samoa Kamara. So we get all these hits and they come up. We see parliament self, they try for reinforce say yes they are legal, raising the constitutional provisions that ultimately they do legitimate. Now, you think it's really the right time where AU come?
Well, to start with...
AU and others.
Okay. To start with, my brother, say what you may, whether at the right time then come, or whether not to the right time, but a good way then finally don't come inside. And I think say them they look up to we for see as a country.
Are we able to we?
Are we go able for settle we serve? Because mark you, we get an international treaty then we don't sign, especially like the Vienna Convention.
Yeah.
So some of them think then they all go make the international community say, okay, we understand, we don't do your research, we don't make we recommendations to them. Now we wait and see how they go able for handle them. Like the Commonwealth, for instance, the day after the Constitution for them, now that they then sign the agreement, the peace pledge, na Bintumani Freetown International Conference Center.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what's in the recommendation then? Now that's who that's lost election, if you're not satisfied with how the election come out eventually, you for go to courts. But they don't see, they don't make that recommendation. But the opposition party, for instance, giving their own findings, where they get from the election so far, no things say them for continue on that path.
Yeah.
Giving their own experience, where they don't get with the judiciary, no things say they for continue on that path. But then just choose say them for sit down to themselves and wait and see how the government go react to some of them claims they are so with they make. Yeah. The good thing is the government reacts in a positive way. Why make us say so? Somebody go say, we all understand it's always a political hit, but once they don't announce the winner of an election, especially when this election then conduct under the laws of the land, and we want to say now under the laws of the land, they make the declaration as well. So automatically, when that don't happen, the power is fully vested in the executive supreme authority, not so. Now that way they in our country. So to that person they when they elect, when retired Julius Madabio president, he talked to the APC them, he called them for letting them come on board for work. And we don't see several approaches have been made, you understand, by senior statesmen in all of them calls them. We see even the CCSL, as much as in the last press release where they pull, where they call, say, the clouds where they around the election, need for be cleared so that we no go get these future misunderstandings in elections.
Yeah.
But however, then suggest to the opposition party, say, you have to engage in a dialogue with the ruling party. So if the international...
Is that after the election?
Yeah, just after the election. And just after the election, we see even the Commonwealth Secretary General come back and call on the opposition. Yeah, to a tweet, we all see that. Say, they will try to see how they engage in dialogue, or let them go to court if they get any misunderstanding. But as we all know, that time they don't pass. So all then we own internal, you understand, ways where we for don't handle them, even through the ICP and the Independent Commission for Peace. We see so much not don't be really achieved. Yeah.
And interestingly, APC don't give in now for the dialogue.
Agreed.
But they're being ready. Yeah. Anyway, let me let you. I don't want to say let you die first before I come, but let me let you finish.
It's okay. So for me, them no ICPN, for instance, now the body where they for help we for make sure say all that small plabber where they between we now we continue for able for handle them. Now the international community self don't sit down and don't say this thing don't they get out of hand. We must involve because we self na development partners. So for me, I think that they left with us for low we use we own things them for help we save. But now good news for you say the All People's Congress Party finally don't open up now for dialogue. Because make I tell you something, now one salon we get, the grudge where they inside of we, not for make we know able for sit down and talk, we understand we safe eventually. We the people, the common man them, where they don't get that. We united. Then the politician then, now then for continue, for make sure say that unity where they in we the people then. Not be divided with their own small plabber. Let them lock in a room. Come out and do one day, they celebrate. It is needed. So the international community, the involvement, it's timely, and I believe say, as a result of that, I want to believe say, as a result of that, make them self open there now.
All right, Khadija.
As far as me concerned here, not to like say, APC just open now for dialogue.
Not everyone know.
They were ready. I mean, they made it very clear. We've had so many engagements. They've been ready for dialogue even from the start. But I think the engagements, them, even where Peace Commission do with them, and I think Inter-Religious Council or so, was to just know their own sides or their concerns. It's not like they engage them, forget a dialogue. And the Deputy Secretary or so, Timbo, make it very clear that they did not engage them in any dialogue, they just asked them for explain. That is what happened. But let's look at it now from a general view. The country is not normal as it should be. That is, I mean, it's no secret. The country not go normal as it for be. Parliament now side or cancels them. But Parliament, importantly, now side where then they go take decision on behalf of the people that vote for them. So let me look at and say again, then go sign this peace agreement. Say whosoever win, go give chance to the other person, or go put hand on the other person. For let them see, say we get peace and national cohesion of the country. But what happens? You cannot be behind the house, or you know go out of the door and you want pet inside. It's not possible. So that is for the APC. But again, just one call should have been enough. You know, for me, both sides get some lapses. Exactly. One, the APC not get trust. How can you say you don't have trust? The Constitution make it very clear that the Electoral Commissioner is not subjected to anybody or any authority. But if you are not satisfied with the result, you can go to court. And this is not just the court. This is not SLPP court. This is not APC court. This is not PMDC court. This is Sierra Leone court. Yeah. So you decided not to go there. And not just that, you are also asking that you need independent people to handle the issue, or to bring together the government and the main opposition or People's Congress Party. So what do we do in this situation? Now, His Excellency the President is seen in two folds, not just as a member of the SLPP, but also as the President of Sierra Leone. So it is also the sole responsibility of His Excellency the President to make sure again to bring this issue to an end as the President. So you feel say the concerns of ABC not legitimate? No, this is not what I am saying. Them concerns them very, very. In fact, it's so important because moving forward, we don't want to see this kind of situation again. I think so. It's so important.
I think for me,
we're not going for. Let me just cut. We're not going for see the same mistake. So if issues like this are not addressed, then I'm telling you, we will continue for see this mistake over and over again in elections. And you say, President Bill, just one call for them settle this. One call, He was in Parliament and he clearly talked there is need for dialogue. There is need for dialogue, and I will try for do this. In fact, it should not even have taken time till we get a report outside US, then they put a restriction on some people, certain people. But the ECOWAS speaker that has gone too far. Was even dialoguing with the opposition. So the president is above even the ECOWAS speaker. I know, but he said that for instruction from the president. That is what I am saying. So what do we say now? That's the All People's Congress Party. That's why I said the mistakes is from both sides.
Me on point where I want for add to within Khadija they say on the stance of the APC. You see, all the country then. Now Africa, especially West Africa, we do election. Yeah. Recently, all gets problem. You understand? APC the own stance Nayana that we own election, not forget then same kind similar problem than they, which is clear. These problems we will cry for so now, it don't lead we to several reforms because what happen? We don't get them problem they are so. Before this time. Therefore, if we don't get any information then they, why don't we work with them? Why we not for go by them? I think say that one of them concerned. Also, the one concern where they call on an independence body. to me, I would tell you, say it was weak on their parts for letting them not try with judiciary. I go want for humbly say that. As much as you know go okay with something, but you have to get try for proof and let you get sufficient evidence where you go against. You understand where you go against the situation. You understand and get a young grievances as how the judiciary don't they play, especially with the flag bearer. But let's put all of that under the carpet now. This is not election business. Now for Lord just make and clear for future references for get and clear. So they say they need independent body for look into the matter. Until we don't get the international community forward now, I think say they will believe say they are independent people and they will listen to them. And the arbitration will go come out from that particular engagement day. It will make a difference in all of this. But the long and short of it, we don't reach to a time now where we need for end the tension around with politics in the country. The people need for come now together for law we develop ourselves. Being you in opposition, being you a ruling, because we not going to continue for dwell on this for the next 5 years. We will just go back.
And we also look forward, say the dialogue we get for happen, it happen very fast because we don't have time. Imagine you get a parliament who say the debate self not sweet, now just one side. We just get 2 people from the main opposition, All People's Congress Party, and this is a parliament that is there for the people. So if you get a parliament who say not just the ruling party, then flop day, say it's just like I concord. Whatever comes up, I concord. There are not much arguments, and then we should not also forget that even the manifestos, the political manifestos before the election, we are talking about the constitution, the review of the constitution. There are so many things.
That's the next issue we can discuss.
Okay, so
we can just link and now. The Solicitor General presents compelling reasons for continuing constitutional review.
Okay.
It's been a very long time coming, and we don't see this process. We don't start since then. It became time. I think it was 2012 or so. By then, I think I was in college, and guess what? After they don't do this whole thing, and the white paper came, and everything was stalled for 1 or 2 reasons.
Exactly.
And now we don't see commitment. President Bill 2 years ago committed Ingo. Review some certain part of it, will take some of them recommendations and inside a white paper. I remember the last time the AG, that was Priscilla, then we go there with some certain recommendations. And they're ready for take up this. So we think, say, over the years, constitution, we don't complain. You get a lot of lacunas, you get a lot of blind spots. Some people say, cater for some certain things. So at this point, we, as a country, you feel say we really need this. We know say everybody they look up for constitutional review, but in other words, the things say can need for be done, or may lose until we go suit you comfort. At the end of the day, it affects the general public. Khadija.
Exactly, we really need them, but again, it's not possible for make we achieve what we want. There are so many recommendations from international community and even some recognized institutions in Sierra Leone that the constitution should be reviewed. Like you say, it don't start from former president in term, he became in term. So now looking at the constitution itself, and the SLVP government may make it very clear that the manifesto say, when they come, then we'll continue and then we'll look at the review of the constitution. But how is that possible when you don't have the opposition party in parliament? I think they need, I don't know, 2/3.
2/3. You need
exactly.
2/3 for
let them look at
for constitutional provisions for amended constitution.
Exactly. So that's all the even slow development.
Yeah.
Now make it say things are not normal as it should be because it is slow down development. If there are certain things that should be looked into, and up till now they still talk about, I mean, no, 2 months ago now, so after election, and we are still talking about the main opposition party not being in parliament.
Interestingly, parliament they on recess, so I feel say, and then they return October. So
Then
I
they
feel
return
say
on
within
Tuesday.
this period,
Tuesday.
October.
The 12th.
You know,
October.
I'm just saying next week before.
No,
before
October,
this
now
week.
October.
Oh, okay.
Also September, October 12th.
So now, to this constitutional review,
Yeah.
you know, since we don't get sense now this country, I mean, if you pass the hype on the constitution small, where you read them, you did not say not they in 100% favor of every Sierra Leonean, but a set of people then. So, now been good thing with presidents, former President Koma being look into the review of that particular constitution. Like you say rightly, the process went as far as coming out with a white paper, who signed a day, some political plabber again emerge. From then, pass away with the AEC President Joseph Duncan.
And that process was really inclusive.
Yes. So now, I want to say again, kudos to the president, because what you promise, you start for doing, na good thing. But the one big question where somebody could go out for ask, this process here so careful be really, really inclusive. Now that we know able to forget the opposition party for take part in governance, how is this going to be possible? Not so other office, they want to create so no more for certain people. It would be a question for ask. But make we left that to that, because we need for look into the constitution, but then for make sure say, moving forward, law gets all them small political blabber for done force. Then we can make that now a priority, because everybody go on for making your inputs. And then we for be genuine about them.
Yeah.
We for be genuine about them. All those who are going to form part of the body, we go get for day na that committee day, get for be genuine about waiting they make them go there. And then for no say then they go there for go represent the country in view, and not just a particular politician. Because eventually we go use that constitution day for the future of this country.
All right. Like Kabi say, we see an inclusive process where even students and we're involved. So
exactly.
You and they're waiting at your recommendation. What do you think? And I feel say, Khadija, you say the Badon already points at how inclusive it could be, and also reasonability of the committee, and also at a very important at a time, or as you say, for me them fast track this dialogue with the opposition, so that everybody will be on board for this particular review, for me them looking to the recommendations and besides this, what you go recommend to government generally in this process?
Well, one, besides the dialogue way for happen, I think they for also get the people their own side, just like what they may do for the Peace Commission. You remember the time before then, I don't know if I've been to Mani 2 or 3, I'm getting old now, into Mani 2 or 3 or so, where then they try for set up the Peace Commission. Then been go out, then been get some conference for the youth, for women, you know, every, even for the Peking, them I think they go to that level. So let everybody be involved. This is not just about, and then we also know, say, not to then tell them they do the constitution. Now people are actually done, some, majority are educated. So they know now waiting at this and waiting at the tell them they put their constitution together. Not so everybody be done, you know, the eyes will not be done open that much. But I'm telling you now, even class 6 Peking, able now for tell you what he wants for later inside the constitution, because we have brilliant kids now going to school.
Exactly.
So make them get, and they are very important too. So make them get all sides. Let them get majority of Sierra Leoneans voice. Everybody not able to make a voice, but let's have the most important sectors to contribute to the review of the constitution. Because like how you say, we don't know again in the near future when they will review them again. So if we have the opportunity, let them make use of it, and not for just go confine them in some small people that take small amounts and say this is the view of the people.
Okay.
That will really not be good.
I will read some comments. I'll tell Fumble them say you get for a limit you comment to what we discuss, and I need to take any attack on me guest at all. I'm not going to read some of these comments where they directly attack me guest them. Alusain Koya, they say indeed it's good to strengthen the maritime wing. Serious illegal fishing is rampant in our seas, and this greatly decreases government's revenue. And we get Almami Toure say the problem with Sierra Leoneans is we always playing around the symptoms, not the problem. If we can't speak truth to power, we can't get anywhere. Come 2028, we'll still have these discussions. Trust me. That is Alimami Toure. We get Ali J. Bangura, they ask me, he say, Mr. Presenter, please, can you please remind us how cases APC have in court and tell us if they are done since 2018, always they take the cases, but up till now there is no ruling. So they decide to sit home, and we still have a problem in the democracy. That is, they try to talk about the cases then where APC gets, and they claim say there were no ruling for them. They justify million why APC not trust the judiciary again. Yeah. Absolutely, you make a valid point. It's crucial. That is Stephen Bukai, and say absolutely you make a valid point. It's crucial for us to address the root cause of our issues and speak truth to power. Only by tackling the underlying problems can we bring about lasting change. Let's continue to raise awareness and work together towards a better future of Sierra Leone. Your perspective is appreciated. That is Molai Warboy by Kamara say, I don't think the political atmosphere is conducive now to review the constitution, and also one party dominates the parliament, and after the review it has many integrity, neutrality and credibility issue over their head. That is Ali Warboy on the constitutional review. So Mohamed Sisse, they say, so tell the APC to go to parliament because they owe it to the people who voted for them. They are depriving those people now because of their selfish interest. Parliament is going to move on with or without the APC. APC are bigger than the state. You don't need to have APC in parliament per se before you can proceed with constitutional review process. APC chose not to attend in governance rights, so the states can't wait for them. That is Mohamed Sisse. And Mohamed Sisse, Mohamed Sisse also they respond. Say, we war boy more like it replies to more like we say every time is right. We don't need to wait for no set of people before they continue. Sierra Leone is bigger than anyone. So the lady and gentleman. So we want to quickly comment on the issues there. But we start first with I would make you respond to Alusainion about maritime. And Khadija, you go start off with the addressing the root cause where Almami Toure they talk about addressing the root cause. If we not settle some of the issues there, we see repeatedly. 2028 back, we will still discuss the same thing. And from there, we now can talk on the constitutional review where we get debates.
Okay. Well, like I should say now, from waiting, I just recommend that we for really look at doing a reform around the maritime, because we did lost plenty money. You know, the potentials in terms of investments we did in that area. I mean, Khadija did not say I'm rightly. Government just need for pay some amount of attention at that place, in that particular sector there, see how they go able for post that area there in terms of the operation, in terms of the capacity, you know, then just need for do that. And with that, I believe say all the thing we got for do it's people where they can fish in without the license, then go able for apprehend them. But now the Navy they not go able to give you most people they don't arrest from 2022 to now, because they will still tell you say we don't get enough boats for search all over. You know, so it's a good thing, and we need more for doing that area.
Khadija, on the issue of addressing the root causes for more not see a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I think that possibility try for agree with within just been to say that if an issue like this is not looked into, then it will continue to happen even in our subsequent elections. And I think, like I say, not to like we been asking me say whether APC then is not legitimate, and I told you it's not about it. Now it's about thinking about the people also. You know, say people the way vote for. Most of the time I can talk na some program where they invite me say now just certain people them and they represent right now. Now certain Sierra Leoneans are being represented in parliament, but there are some areas again, there are certain Sierra Leoneans that are not being represented in parliament. Because we get set of people that will vote for the APC, we get set of people that will vote for SLPP. So the one that will vote for APC, then believe, say, they can deliver for them on waiting they want for sinners alone. But now they are not represented in parliament. I don't know if you get the point. Like, for instance, when you come to election, I dey vote for this man because I believe, say, if he go parliament, they represent me well, and he go put forward waiting now the challenges them all they go to now with community. So we get certain like Bombali, I'm not fit to get any.
None.
Exactly.
None.
So imagine now, say, certain community or certain districts, APC MP they no more emerge from there.
Yeah.
So they are not represented up to now. That is what I'm saying. So let them also get that na the back of their mind, say there are people waiting for them that have trust in them.
But they will tell you they spoke with these people and these people approved their boycott.
But time is not also waiting for any political party. Now them they go too. And people have to survive every day. There are challenges every day. I am telling you, if the parliament was really normal as it should be,
It's true.
then I will tell you there are certain challenges and how they happen. Like there's no debates in a parliament. If it don't happen, when we have an inclusive parliament, when you have a parliament where people can debate on certain issues constructively, for see how they can reach at a point where it will benefit the people. Even though at a certain point, some man will tell you, say, parliamentarians and just do some certain things in their own interest. But they are there and they have been doing well, no matter how you look at them. Even if now for certain areas and they look at their own interest, but they have been representing the people.
Okay, more we talk about the comment about constitutional review. We find out, say, after we Ali J. Bango asked the question, Stephen also comments that indeed we need to address the root cause so that we'll not go see a vicious cycle of the same thing. More like Work Boy by Kamara come with the atmosphere, say, you know, that the atmosphere is not really nice now for a constitutional review. I think one pound say that.
Yes,
so
because we need two-thirds. Yes, for let them begin look at the review. So they also slow down that. So how long when President Leone don't promise the people and say again for look at them and then now the year they round so then we'll talk about 4 years. So
yes.
How long would that take? How long then we'll look at the constitution and then reach at some point where they will be able to forget the review constitution? Yes. It's going to take time, and time is going.
Just before we move to the other topic where you go get for introduce, I think that AID, where the policy, the atmosphere not really conducive. One go want for agree with them, but again, you need for no say the politicians, yeah, then they go by the manifesto where they can don't normally write.
And Mohammed himself contradicts and he say the atmosphere really conducive now.
So you see, so you find out, say, the politician in the wait, you know, one wait, let somebody can begin to ask and say, President Biola just put on state. President Biola now they look at and say, I have promised my people during campaigns that where I come, and they can look at the review of this national constitution. I need for give me self time and that? No. Mark you.
You need for give yourself time, but you have to consider also legality.
No, of course you go continue that day. But now it don't give self time. In time, as it be not put on a manifesto, they are politicians. You go tell you say I've been on the plan. So it's about implementation now. Why
I mean legality for give power to that particular review day. You need 2/3, which is 90.
No, of course, and that is why it is good where the dialogue they take place now.
Yes.
I know eventually we will get forget Parliament. And we go forget the opposition very much inclusive in this particular situation. Yeah, so as much as we all don't agree, say the constitution gets problem and we need to adjust them. So let them make the peace. Let them done with this tete-a-tete where we get spend the election business.
So again, so you're saying now we should put the peace first.
Yeah.
After dialogue, then we now come.
We can focus on them.
Honestly, when you talk about democracy, you need a strong opposition. For let democracy actually be actualized.
Exactly.
Hopefully you see democracy they at play. Then you need forget the opposition. Then we know they go out from man.
And
that is why we the people are calling on the opposition.
And we see beauty of that in the 5th Parliament.
And what does it even mean right now, even for the ordinary Sierra Leonean? For CC, certain people that they wouldn't vote for being in a parliament, they're not in a parliament. What do it even mean? Not just go around and listen to people, what did they say about these things? So even in their heads, something is not normal. Like they will be saying, hey, the way things they go now so not normal because they want to vote for, you know, something like this. So let me make us say President Bio is now seen into, but me, as far as me concerned, just after the election, he is now the president. I know they even look at him from SFP side again. He's the president. And he is the one governing now. And governance is responsible, or let me say, largely responsible for get a peaceful nation. And let me tell you, let these politicians or these leaders go back to the TLC report. There are so many things, so many recommendations in the TLC report. If they go out, even this peace commission, what's from the TLC report? Now we say, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago, now it's the peace commission. So there are something in the way they happen. So now, I am telling you, if you go through the TLC report, you know, see plenty things in the way they say, let them look into. Say this now will be better 11 years war. It is still happening. And if they don't look into them, it will continue to happen. So that tells you that those people that put that report together really did a very good job.
Yeah.
All right. I think we'll therefore discuss the climate change issue. We see President Bio Kenya inside the African Climate Summit, wherein he also states that Salonde among the 20 countries where globally where they are at risk to climate change. And he also make a commitment to prioritize food security, climate financing for Salome, which is very important.
Yeah.
In other words, climate change gets an effect if now they talk about in Big Five, one part of the Big Five, then the number one, and that's feed Salome.
Yeah.
And if you can't feed your country with agriculture if you don't focus on climate change, because climate change gets a ripple effect on agriculture, you know, where you don't see wherein some certain countries and they experience drought, and when they experience droughts, waiting they happen, they crop, then they die. You see, and we also get fire. You will see fire will come and burn all waiting you don't wait. So I think President Bio don't point out some of these things. I say they prioritize them here. So how you feel say you get for balance then issues there now? On one hand, you get the feed salon, and another hand, you say they ensure climate financing, because climate financing globally don't an issue because over the years we don't see countries and the neglect financing of climate actions.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to start with, I want to commend the presidency for making the climate issue a priority, because climate financing is something we've been for don't focus by lots of things.
Maybe you can limit it as a priority in his statement. That can be, I mean, he has made it a priority in his statement in Kenya.
Adikam is not really.
But that is it.
No. He has made it a priority by establishing a special unit in his office to look into that particular area. So I want to say, I make a column a priority to me. You understand? And with the kind of a policy we put there, say what you may, we all know the contributions with Dr. Kande Koleyum Keller don't make in terms of climate change, being in the boss of UNIDO and all that. So having him there, I believe say we're able to source much fundings, for able to solve the problems we will constantly go face in terms of climate business. And you talk about food security. You know, we will get food security if you climate system like country bad. Although some people and they say, oh, the government all left Sidon and on they cut timber, all this, that, all those things. Now anything in the government for looking to. But at least we have a unit now, making it a priority to that office. I believe we'll go able to come up with policies, because all these issues what they discuss so now, in all the depth of financing, raising finances, but it's about how we create policies we will help, in terms of making sure that the vulnerability at which we did now in our country, it not go increase the risks per smack. So for me, I think it's a good thing, and with the presentation where it do now Kenya, I mean, you have these countries coming together, now African countries. It's an idea for African countries for see how they go able for finance themselves, for solve the problem of climate.
I interviewed somebody the other day, says Salona get issue with policies. Some certain sectors and there are existing policies, but the issue is policy sequencing, in the sense this policy, you will find out that this policy they contradict our policy. So when you find out, say, if there is coherence in all the policies, then you think things they work well. Khadija.
Exactly. You know, there are so many fine policies from these sectors. But me, I have problem with implementation. Yeah. And sometimes we also tend for look down on the issues them or try for compromise some of these policies them. I'll put it that way, because we don't see even before people really go into this charcoal business, it been start small. Journalism begin talk about them. But now it don't pass mark. People they go now into charcoal. You they even see Usai people and they undermine certain areas them where they're not even supposed for they do any kind of activity.
Areas,
exactly.
Yeah.
But they are seeing these things. They are looking at it, but what do we say? Poverty. Oh, now because them poor make, then go build their ozende, or because them poor make, then they go put, burn charcoal, now then place and day. So then go tend again for look back at government and say, no, we should compromise it. If we put them now, who said them go get? But do we forever continue with that?
That is how you describe what talk say. Most of the times, politics can involve in developmental issues.
Of course,
yes.
Of course.
It's very clear.
They affect politics, they affect with
it's very clear. The reason why I'm not just one for fully blame also Sierra Leoneans them because of the poverty rates. We said can look at that. Now we'll take an example for this KUSH. Instead of legal aid board, go they get some legal people where they go pull 800 people them, where any sitting day or 700 or 500 as the case might be. And now they see more people they go because of KUSH. Why don't we think around and do a research as to why people they do KUSH? Then they take KUSH. Then they take KUSH, even though they put them they got in. Is it a mental health problem? We're not just going to say, oh, they're not one for serious. Which lens are we looking at the problem with? That is more important. Now we look at them from a humanitarian lens, or we look at them as a general problem, or we just look at them and say, just pray for Duam. Now maybe they do them. So the time they begin to look at certain things, and not from a political angle, not from your selfish gain, but if you begin to look at certain things, and I mean our leaders, from being a Sierra Leonean, somebody that loves Sierra Leone, somebody that wants to support Sierra Leone, and not somebody who just look for job, I am telling you, the narrative will change.
You know, for lend me voice too.
All right, before you lend your voice, I'll just give some few comments. John Lamin say, I'm actually admiring the discussion in the studio. Please let the government listen to the opposition and have a roundtable discussion with them for the sake of peace. They come from John Lamin Nakenema. Mola boy, still the question, the issue of the referendum. Is the ACSL going to conduct the referendum? A body that has a lot of questions of integrity and transparency issues, they ask the question. And we also get, guys, tell us what the opposition achieved in the last parliament. That's Francis Thomas. Nope. Nope. More like war boy. Interesting one. It's the president is in Kenya talking about climate change, and we are here as a nation almost losing 60% of our forests to timber logging. And one may ask the question, where is the sincerity in all this?
Okay, so for lend me voice to what Khadija just say quickly. You know, this Salomon mentality, this poverty, would they put all we blame on poverty, but you see for Komot Pampo, you as an individual, you get a role for play. So, you know, people get for change that perception. They really, in terms of development, you understand? You get plenty of people where they in areas, yeah, where me and you two know say much amount for leave, yeah? Then they're not so because of poor. Then just they because now they want for day. Then they one team back. Yeah? Somebody go tell you say there are people where the guy season, then they don't. I know they call the place. Then they but in season, then get other side where they can't live up. So what thing they place for, you wouldn't know.
Okay, I think we need to round off the program. I don't want to argue with that because we round off the program.
I'm not saying anybody want for this side no more, we not fine. Really?
Well, people keep
I know,
if you get that sat inside you, that would be business where you do the
that would be a discussion. I don't want to agree with you on that.
Will be a discussion
I don't want
for another day.
because I'm not going to agree with you on that. No, nobody know one for just this side.
No, people they were just one day side and
well, I also will go tap to the
program
front page. Famulem, una plenty thank you for joining me for the program and my producer then Edima Conte, Mohamed Lamin Banya, Mohamed Bakar Kamara, and plenty thank you to my technical team. We give the technical support, and plenty thank you to me guest them, Khadija and also Amadou. Thank you for mods, and also we Facebook viewers them, the people who even on Facebook and comment, we tell them thank you. And this now also will tap the program to the front page. Stay with AYV, and as we get exciting programs and current affairs issues, then we get for come up because AYV 9 Salons have been me. We come with the program to you, me on him now, Joseph Johnson.